Hello and welcome everyone to New Moon 2022 Intermission number 2 for standard format. So you might be wondering, why is this 2022 Intermission number 2 when we had other tournaments and it's no longer 2022? And well, to answer your questions, basically this is a tournament that was meant to happen on the 8th, a stream that was meant to happen on the 18th, I believe. But at that time, because of various reasons, we were unable to do the streams. So we decided to do a catch-up stream after we ended all of the other streams. And here we are now. Alright, and without further ado with that introduction, joining me on commentary today is going to be Symes. Hello, Symes.
Yes, hello Player Zero, hello chat. It is good to be here for this final coverage of our 2022 net battles. It's a few weeks late on this one, but you know what they say, better late than never.
So true, and you never know, maybe these net battlers of the past played differently. It's a year ago, so it's a long time. It's been a year since we've done the last standard stream. Haha, very funny joke.
Yeah, it's true. It is the first standard, the first vanilla format stream of the year. So we will see what these players bring to the table.
It's out of time, but never out of place. Alright, and with that, let's head into the setups for our first match of the day with Alpha versus Passbyword.
So looking at these setups, the first thing I have to say is, yes, it's Morbin time.
So true. It was Morbin time back then. Now, maybe it's still Morbin time. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? Maybe we will get that Morbius sequel announced in 2023. One can only hope. So yeah, this is similar to some of the Among Us themed folders we've seen in the past, only instead of Among Us Sus, it's Morbin time.
Oh yeah.
Although at least Passbyword at least has a normal Navi cust here. Actually, both players have have basically the same cust. That's the cust 8 with max buster stats. A very strong cust in both versions. So yeah, both players here. The only difference is that Alpha did opt for that color bug level 1. So we might be seeing Alpha opt to not cross turn 1 and maybe go for that invincibility. Although it is only color bug level 1, so it would only be 5-second invincibility, not 10 seconds.
Yeah, obviously they are also playing it in different versions, so the turn 1 is going to be very different, even though in theory they have the same Navi cost, so they might be thinking about similar thing.
Yeah, yeah, Passbyword is Valzar, Alpha is Gregar. And so Alpha's actually got this J code. They have the Destroy Pulse PA, which is the widely and rightfully considered the best PA in the game. Because it is very difficult to dodge. It blinds for a long time. It gives them like a cust HP bug, so Destroy Pulse is always pretty strong. And outside of that, it's basically just a fairly standard Gregar folder. They've got the Gundel Force. They've got Sanctuary Splash. They've got a couple of machine gun ones to deal with traps. And also for dealing with Dust Cross. And then, yeah, Passbyword in their Morbin time folder, we've got the a Recov 200i. The Tomahawk Man SP, very strong Navi, actually. A static S reg. And so Alpha will actually have to be very careful of that. They'll have to be very careful about going into a race. We've got the Muramasa Guardian uninstall. The Firehit 3, Bubble Wrap, also an I. Meteor Knuckle, the Tengu Man. And yeah, this is obviously a very soupy folder, but we do have quite a few I-code chips, and like a lot of people say like that I-code is bad and that it's like the worst code in the game, but it's I-code is like really not that bad, especially for Falls Art. Like you've got the obviously the Bubble Wrap and Grab Revenge and Recov 200, but it also has stuff like M-Boomer. Like, it is actually not a bad code at all for Falzar.
Yeah, and I mean, just looking at Passbyword's folder, even though it seems like they have quite a soupy folder, and they do, but the main advantage is that all of the chips they have, they're actually quite high impact. They have Tomahawk Man and Tengu SP, they have Firehit 3, Guardian, Muramasa, all of them are pretty strong chips.
Yeah, definitely. It's not like it's like a folder filled with like some of the chips that have recently been showed off for the Legacy collection. It's not like they have cannons and swords and mini bombs. They are all very strong chips on their own right. So yeah, it's obviously like a meme build, but that doesn't like mean that it's bad.
Yeah, that's actually one of the best parts about Battle Network, in my opinion. You can make some builds that are maybe a bit less optimal, but they can still do very well, and you can actually enjoy playing them quite a bit.
Yeah, yeah, and I think with that we can get into the match and see how Passbyword will pilot this folder.
Right, turn into it and see how it goes. So we are watching from Alpha's point of view, and actually one thing to note is that I believe at the time, Passbyword, this was one of their first tournaments they've joined. I think at that time this might have been their second or third tournament they joined, but since then they've been doing some pretty good showing, joining pretty much every tournament that happened, I believe.
Yeah, they were in the pool party and stuff that we've done previously. And oh wow, so Alpha is actually they've drawn Destroy Pulse here on turn 1, and it looks like they're immediately going for it. This is pretty risky though, so we'll have to see if they can get it.
Invis Big drop by Passbyword, though obviously that will have no impact on the Destroy Pulse. Let's see if it does connect then. There it goes. Nice.
Yeah, definitely one of the biggest weaknesses to these types of, I guess, meme folders is Passbyword does not have Life Aura. So we'll see if Alpha recognizes that, because like since Passbyword has no Life Aura or anything, they don't really have a reason to hold on to this Wind Rack here. So we'll see if they just go ahead and use it this turn.
Passbyword does have a good number of area grabs. I believe they are running 4 area grabs, but that being said, this is J-Code from Alpha. So J-Code also has Judge Mana and Judge Mana SP, which they are running both. So. Oh no! power up, taking double damage from the Elec Pulse 3, and then the Elements Man being blocked by an anti-damage. Very good turn for Alpha so far. So, unlike the other pulses, what happened there is that Elec Pulse 3 actually applies flashing after connect, so that ends up causing the ground man to miss, unfortunately.
Yeah, Elec Pulse 3 is generally considered the weakest of the pulses, but it's still like hitting the bubble wrap with it is like 280 damage. Yeah. That is actually pretty good damage. And then it also inflicts that HP bug, which considering it's stacked with the bug from Destroy Pulse, Passbyword's HP is dropping fairly quickly, but we are in fast gauge, so they're actually not losing very much HP per turn.
Yeah, but the issue is that we are also running custom bug for both players. It is custom bug level 1, but with fast gauge especially, it starts ticking down very quickly and taking D-Cross there. That was very painful for Passbyword. Meteor Knuckles going to connect. 1, 2, 3 hits.
3. Oh, wow. Poor Slash Cross. But now Alpha does have their Q-Force, but the problem is that the front of their area is broken here from this Meteor Knuckle, and also Passbyword going into Tomahawk, and they are completely safe on that panel because the Gundel Soul, the holes are in the way.
Ooh. Yeah, unfortunately it misses there. The play could have been for Alpha to chip charge it, but under that book of a turn, the split-second decision, it's very difficult to play into it. Ooh, Elements Man's going to connect, doing 200 damage.
What follow-up does Passbyword have for this Erase Man?
Ooh, nice.
Okay, Recov 200. I don't agree with taking the bug fix first here. I think you got to take the Recov first, right?
Yeah, it's going to be, yeah.
Yeah, this gives Passbyword the opportunity. Oh wow, taking the Recov last. Yeah, this we'll see if it works out for Alpha.
Oh, Guardian attempting to be dropped, but unfortunately was blocked by that Beast Jump. Anti-damage is going to be put in now, but a single Buster Shot is going to be enough to finish off the game. I mean, that was actually a very amazing start for Alpha, but Passbyword was able to almost bring it back with that Meteor Knuckles on Slash and the other various hits of damage they were able to land.
Yeah, that did end up being a very close round, and so now Alpha has an interesting draw here. They have 3 area grabs, which is kind of not what you want to see on turn 1, but so it's interesting that they're just going into Elec here instead of Slash.
Oh, and they are also starting with their own slow gauge. So one thing we haven't mentioned so far is that Alpha is running a single slow gauge, whereas Passbyword is running 2 fast gauges. And what that means that the match will always end in a fast gauge condition. But we see that both players took them turn 1, and unfortunately that will favor Passbyword.
Yeah, but as far as Gregor folders go, I guess fast gauge isn't the worst for Alpha, because fast gauge actually does go pretty well with the Destroy Pulse.
Yeah, that's actually a good point, because Destroy Pulse, or just pulses in general, they pierce Invis, and Invis is very strong in fast gauge because it lasts over a turn. So by piercing them, that gives you a good option of offense as well as defense.
Yeah, and the other thing is the blind from Destroy Pulse lasts for a very long time. I think it's over 1,000 frames, right? So in fast gauge, that's actually a lot of turns, although Falzer can of course just go into Tomahawk to deal with that blind.
And while we're talking about Destroy Pulse, the fun fact is that it's the only effect that applies paralysis and can go through Tomahawk across his stat scuff.
So Alpha did just get uninstalled, so they'll have to be careful of that. They no longer have their super armor.
And that was actually very close. They almost dodged all of the machine gun hits, but then the last one just clipped them at the very end. It does seem like they don't quite have that Destroy Pulse luck this game, but they did get a fairly early bug fix, which is nice given that they have no options to dig for it, unlike Passbyword, who I believe still hasn't used theirs as well. So.
Yeah, Alpha did unfortunately just miss their erasement on that last turn. Ooh, and they grab revenge here. That's actually really bad for Alpha because they no longer have this area to use with Slash Cross.
Yeah, but I mean, at least we do know that this isn't an N code, because the Grab Revenge Passbyword's running is an I code, so that means there is no risk of being hit by a Meteor Knuckle, especially with an area like this. But, ooh. Okay, so Alpha's probably wanting to cross into... Okay, Race is a fair option. I believe we've seen both Tenguman and the Static, so it's fairly safe to go into.
Yeah, although I would use the Invis after this Judgment here instead of the machine gun. Oh wow, bringing 2 Invis. I guess they're just trying to get through their folder.
Ooh. The erasement.
Okay, this is actually gonna...
Yeah.
Yeah, Judgment does have that longer stun, so yeah, they were able to get out of it first. Ooh, but the Invis here will deny Alpha from being able to use that machine gun. They do now have the full Gundel Force combo in hand.
Ooh. Passbyword just used Invis, and we know it's going to last all of the next turn, so it's going to be a bit risky to go for it. They're going to have to land the Gundel Soul and use that to remove the Invis.
Yeah, and there's also still these holes on their field. Yeah,
Ooh.
they needed to... yeah, this is not going to work out at all.
And the Muramasa comes
into
down.
the Muramasa.
I believe that wasn't even full damage Muramasa. That did 400 and something. But that was still quite a lot of damage. Let's see, the Q4's coming down. Ooh. Some of the hits were blocked and... Oh no, yeah. So what happened there is that some of the hits were blocked by the bubble wrap, which meant that Passbyword had enough time to use anti-damage. The anti-damage star activated by the Q-Force, which landed on Alpha, brought them to 1 HP, and then a single buster shot was enough to finish the game. Which brings us into a game 3, which this time Alpha did benefit from the color bug they started with, and it gave them an Invis.
Ooh, and does manage to connect with that charge tackle on the grass.
Getting hit by Tomahawk SP. It's actually a pretty scary ship. I feel like people always use their defense even if they don't have to when it comes out, just because it's so scary.
Yeah, a lot of the SP chips that are used, like Groundman and Spoutman, are multi-hitting ones, but when you see that huge 280 on screen for Tomahawk, man, that is very intimidating.
The last Brandon in YouTube chat asking, is this PvP? And this is indeed a PvP tournament. So the tournament itself happened around the 18th of December last year, but we're doing a catch-up stream today. Ooh, Passbyword decides to go for that Muramasa play straight away. That also wasn't fully damaging Muramasa, but did do over 300 damage, just one hit.
It's a bit risky with no defense, but with this area control and also another grab in hand, they could consider going slash this turn and hope that Passbyword didn't get their second fast gauge yet. Ooh, it looks like they might actually be considering that as well. Okay, looks like they're actually playing it safe and staying in charge.
Yeah, I think playing it safe is fair enough because we still haven't seen the Meteor Knuckles and would be very painful to get another Meteor Knuckle decross. Oh, nice. Being able to land Groundman, breaking some panels, doing decent damage. Not too bad. Let's see if they get the recovery. Okay, nice.
Oh wow, and this bubble wrap is actually kind of annoying to deal with the Buster bug not being fixed.
Yeah, I believe Charge Cross isn't too bad in terms of popping the bubble wrap compared to like Race or some of the other crosses who really struggle against it. Ooh, we see Q-Force potentially coming out, but without going into Beast Out. Ooh, was going into Beast Out, but without the Gundel song. It's going to be interesting. Let's see they... Ooh, let's see. Okay, so they do go for a freeze. The freeze effect does last a bit longer, so Passbyword is able to use something. And they retaliate with their own area grabs. That's going to pretty much nullify the whole of the Gundel song, or the Gundel force. And cracking panels as well, so yeah, that did basically no damage. That was crazy. Ooh, now the custom bug is starting to tick down for Alpha. They are running glowing chips. They still haven't seen their Destroy Pulse combo, and they have to go through their folder somehow. Ooh, seems like
yeah, it looks like they're going to forego the Gundel Force here, or the Destroy Pulse.
Ooh, static coming down. At least we know now it's not going to be a Meteor Knuckles turn, but this might be enough to close off the game. Ooh, nice. Being able to preserve that panel means there is a bit of footwork, a bit of footsies that are going to have to go in place for Passbyword to close it in here. Might be better for Passbyword to just go for Buster Shots, actually. Oh no.
Oh no.
Wait, never mind. There is that Buster Bug. I've seen games where people have to go through basically an entire turn worth of Buster Bug just to land a single Buster Shot. But it looks like this time luck was on Passbyword's side and they were able to close it fairly quickly.
Yeah, that is definitely the one downside to having a Buster Bug level 3 instead of actually a lower level Buster Bug, because with the lower level Buster Bugs you can still get some of those normal shots. And
all right, but yeah, well played to both sides. But with that, we're going to head into the setups for our next match, which is Passbyword versus Marvino. So we've already seen Passbyword's it's Morbing Time folder. This time we're going to take a look at Marvino's build. Do you want to walk us through it?
yeah, I think it will be a lot harder for Marvino to get morbed on. So Marvino does have an interesting build. So he's got this Mega Folder +1, and so he's got two sets of brothers here. He's got the T Bros, which of course Passbyword also has Tomahawk and Tengu, and then he's also got the B Bros, Blast Man and Brodo Man. And then he's that's actually very interesting. He has no Erase Man or Judge Man. He's got a Ground Man and Element Man, and then to go with this, he's also got this L code with the Electragon, Bubble Star, Magnum, which is always very strong. And then obviously also a High Boomer and Uninstall. So this is actually very interesting.
Yeah, so
not having Erase Man.
I guess instead of the Erase Man, he is running 3 Magnums, but for Judge Man, there isn't really anything else. So there is that Grab Revenge, but it's very common for people to use Grab Revenge and the Erase and the Judge Man as well, because if your opponent's really pushing on area, so we see that Passbyword did have 4 area grabs. They were relatively good with pushing in the last game, so it might be a difficult time for Marvino.
Yeah, definitely. Judge Man is I think out of Judge Man, Erase Man, and Element Man, it is the easiest, I guess, to not have Judge Man.
Yeah.
But Marvino also only has 3 area grabs. If you're gonna go no Judge Man, you'd usually want like all 5 area grabs. So yeah, definitely only the 3 area grabs and the 1 Grab Revenge is especially for Greg, are pretty low on area. So we'll have to see how Marvino plays around that.
Yeah, though I guess Marvino does have the Tomahawk Man and the Proto Man SP for threatening Tengu if Passbyword decides to go for damage through that, and the Blast Man SP and the Element Man for threatening Tomahawk. So there is still a good number of options for scaring off basically the close range crosses from Falzar, but yeah, losing out on area could mean a weaker Q-Force as we saw last game, or a stronger Meteor Knuckles for Passbyword.
Yeah, we'll have to see how Marvino's able to play around that, but yeah, definitely those they do have those 4 SP Navis, and actually Passbyword is kind of low on defense without no life aura. So yeah, we'll have to see how Passbyword is able to deal with Marvino's 2 sets of brother Navis.
All right, and with that, let's head into the match, see how it plays out. So for this match, this is going to be a double VODs match, which means that you can see both sides on the screen. So on the left, we have Passbyword's build, and on the right, Marvino. And obviously, as usual, if you feel like it's a bit too much to look at both sides, it can be disorienting if you're not used to it, then you can focus on one and then occasionally take a look at the other. Alright, so we're seeing this first turn. Passbyword is going with a pretty defensive turn, starting with the Bubble Wrap, Invis, and anti-damage, as well as the fast gauge, whereas Marvino doesn't really have as many options to go for. So looking maybe at the uninstall, and that's pretty much it. Oh wow.
This could actually be pretty rough to try and land this uninstall, though, considering how much defense Passbyword is loading up on it. Yeah.
And even dodges it anyway.
Yeah, it's that. I would have liked to see like waiting until you get one of those Electragons and then go for like the Bubble Star Electragon uninstall, but it is kind of rough. Oh wow, and Marvino also has Warp Step.
Yeah, so we haven't mentioned it when we're looking at the setups, but Marvino is playing a bug build in Gregar, and the main bug that he has is the Warp Step bug, which forces you to teleport through the edges of the map. That means that he's going to be unable to line up most of his charge shots. So most people actually think this is one of the worst bugs you can have in Gregar. So it's going to be very interesting seeing how Marvino is going to play around it.
Yeah, the main things you can do that still kind of work is Slash Cross can still work pretty well with it, although not in this case. Marvino is kind of low on area, so that makes the Slash Cross rough. And then also if you go for Erase Beast Tail Arrows, that's not affected by having Warp Step. And yeah, it's not like Marvino doesn't have like a panel bug or anything either, so it's not like he can make holes to center himself.
Yeah, Passbyword is using a lot of chips, applying a lot of pressure so early. He's already gone through about 400 HP from Marvino, whereas he lost, I think, just 20 from the HP bug, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, that having that warp stuff is super rough, not being able to line up charge shots. The other thing is it looks like Marvino has no gauges. But Alcode, of course, can actually do a ton of damage once it gets going. So, once again, Fast Gauge might not actually be the worst for Marvino here.
Funnily enough, I actually think Fast Gauge is good for him, at least at the very beginning, because Marvino is trying to find his bug fix as soon as possible, because right now he can't do any damage from his charge shots. But that means that Passbyword is basically giving him more turns more quickly to use his chips, so he can just basically use his chips, go into the next turn, and keep using chips instead of trying to line up charge shots.
Yeah, and Alco does have like can dish out enough damage that even if this goes to damage judge, Marvino would actually have a good chance of winning the damage judge if Passbyword isn't able to delete him in the 15 turns. Ooh, but the corner meteor knuckle.
3, 4. Oh, what's that? 6 hits, I believe. That's quite a bit above average. Very nice. And now Marvino is trapped in place. Usually Warp Step makes it more difficult to be trapped, but because of the already broken panel, now he's just stuck in place there.
Yeah, that is usually one of the major advantages of Warp Step, is that actually, yeah, you can't be trapped as easily, but there's both of the panels that he could go to are broken, so. And yeah, this is a pretty rough situation, because Passbyword going into Tengu here. Ooh. And so this Life Aura will not save Marvino. He might morb him with this Muramasa.
Okay, so thankfully, because it is Fast Gauge, made it a bit difficult for Passbyword to use it, but with all of these broken panels for Marvino, it's going to be very difficult to try to avoid a potential hit, so we'll see how he manages it.
Yeah, but Marvino does have this Tomahawk Man SP, so Passbyword has to be careful in Tengu here, otherwise he could be the one that's about to get morbed all over.
Yeah, I mean, it does seem like a pretty bad position for Marvino, but we still haven't seen pretty much any of the hard-hitting chips that Marvino has. So, still has Q-Force, still has his SP Navis. There's still a lot of damage potential coming out from Marvino. Ooh, there's still no bug fix for Marvino, unfortunately, and these broken panels will make it difficult, but one of his only options, he has to go for the Q-Force. He has to do some damage somehow. Oh no, we see Guardian play from Passbyword, so that's going to deny part of the area grab that Marvino has, but also potentially denying Q-Force as well. Oh yeah, so now if Marvino tries to use Q-Force, he will be hit. Yes, he's just chip charging it instead.
Yeah, because unfortunately, Marvino doesn't have the Gundel Soul to use with it, so his Q-Force would be completely walled by the Invis.
Yeah, throughout last game, this game, Passbyword has been showing actually very good answers to Q-Force. People often complain, say, oh, it's very difficult to have any answers to it, it's too strong, things like that, but there's actually a lot of ways you can play around it, and there goes that Punisher dealing damage.
Yeah, I do think on the last game, I do think, yeah, the other thing about Q-Force is you have to use it at the right time. I think in the last game, if Alpha had been a little bit more patient with when they used it, because they did use it in some bad spots, that also could have worked out better. But yeah, there's definitely holes are a great way of countering Q-Force.
Yeah, and I mean, we did see Marvino in this game. He held on to that Q force for one turn. He waited until some of these panels got repaired. He could do something, then went for it. Ooh, the Blast Man Green! Doing 500 damage and decrossing straight away. And then bug fix coming down from Marvino, which is going to be followed up by an Invis. Let's see if he has time to release it.
Yeah, but unfortunately, I don't believe, Marvino doesn't have any recovs, so they've definitely closed the gap, but being down 179 to 700 HP is still pretty rough, although I'm not sure if, is Passbyword already out of chips, or is that the cust bug?
I believe he is out of chips, because I don't think... so I think he did use... bug fix earlier in the game, so yeah, he's pretty much out. And I guess that's part of why Marvino's build is so strong. He's able to do so much damage and still have all of these options left. If he can survive that is,
Yeah, it looks like Passbyword is going into Beast out here, so unfortunately for Marvino, Passbyword will not be able to be trapped by these Magnums. But, ooh, getting the...
So I'm not sure if Passbyword accidentally meant to keep his previous chips from the previous turn or something like that, but he took no chips into this turn, which meant that unfortunately he ended up taking quite a lot of damage with no way to retaliate. But for this turn, he does have that fire hit 3, which does 180, brings down Marvino to 1 HP from the undershot and potentially closes it off. Marvino is also running low on chips, so this is going to end pretty much this turn or next turn. There isn't really much time left in this match.
Yeah, we'll have to see if Marvino can avoid this fire hit here.
Ooh, going for the counter hit.
Oh, I feel like, yeah, you have to beast over here. And with the Electragon, ooh, will Passbyword be able to survive this?
Oh, no.
No.
Yeah.
What a huge comeback from Marvino.
Yeah, that was really well played, especially with that beast over, because to avoid the beast over Buster Beast, you have to move up and down. But with that pattern, that basically confirms the Electragon landing on you, unless you're very lucky. Yeah, that was very well played.
And this starting, so this is an interesting draw for Marvino. Yeah, it looks like he's going ahead and using this Magnum here to probably take out the center row and deal with that Holy Panel.
And it looks like Passbyword is playing it pretty careful. He's not going into Dust Cross. He doesn't want to risk getting decrossed by one of the 3 Magnums that Marvino has. Ooh, nice. Very nice movement. Magnum will unfortunately miss because of the invis. Passbyword landing buster shots, trying to bait Marvino out of the Holy Panel, but Marvino is staying there. He takes half damage on that panel, so it's going to be very difficult to force him out of it.
Oh, wow. And there's already the turn 2 Meteor Knuckle for Passbyword here, but Marvino does have quite a bit of defense with this anti-damage and life aura, so he should be able to block this Meteor Knuckle here. And it looks like Passbyword is also going into Spout to decross Marvino's charge.
Ooh, but we do see that Marvino also has Blast Man and Proto Man in hand and the Eco bubble combo. Ooh, looks like he's going for the bubble combo instead of defense, so that might risk him taking a lot of damage from the Meteor Knuckles, but that also means he's going to be able to do a lot of damage to that bubble. To that, I mean, Spout Press.
Oh, wow.
Ooh. Oh no, losing the anti-damage anyway. But the Meteor Knuckle 3, 4... I think that was 6 hits?
Yeah, both players here dealing a lot of damage to each other. And yeah, this is where not having the Judgment really hurts Marvino, because without that grab revenge in hand, it is very rough for him to deal with this area situation.
Oh, now he's thinking about taking that life orb, but looks like Passbyword is playing it safe, going into Tengu, potentially threatening with charge shots, but also dealing with that life orb. This is going to be last game as well, where this happened. Marvino had to lose his life orb immediately.
Yeah, the only saving grace here for Marvino is that we are not in slow gauge, so that significantly reduces the amount of damage that Tengu does. Oh, wow.
Ooh.
And they do get the Element Man freeze here.
That's actually very nice from Marvino. So it seems like it was a big risk to lose out on your life aura, but basically by throwing away the life aura there, he was able to interrupt Passbyword and also cause them to lose their invis, which is an interesting interaction that Element Man has.
Yeah, so if you go for Invis and get a TFC by Element Man and Frozen, you actually do just the being frozen just completely cancels the Invis.
Both sides going into Beast out. Marvino does start with the Invis, and unfortunately, while it does have a chip charge, it's very unlikely to hit. Yeah. I know, Passbyword throwing away that Muramasa. Ooh, it's going to be very risky, but I guess he is worried about being decrossed by Protoman or Tomahawk SP, because we haven't seen either of them. So.
Yeah, I feel like in that case, what you could do though is just cross out of Tengu and keep the Muramasa. But we'll see. And Marvino actually puts down the anti-Navi here.
Ooh, Passbyword going for a chip charge, which does 2 hits, but it's, big decrossed by Protoman, taking a lot of damage, wasn't really worth it.
Yeah, but I think we can all agree Tengu deserves that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if I can agree.
No, everyone agrees. Okay, but yeah, this is actually so now it's Marvino who's up by about 400 HP. And he does finally get that grab revenge, which deals with that bubble wrap, deals with the Invis.
Ooh. Passbyword was actually able to survive into this next 10.
But yeah, Passbyword is gonna be forced to beast over here because it is the only way they'll be able to survive this Q4 with just 20 HP.
Oh no, Marvino's preparing to lock in his full cost. Is he going to do the play? Is he going to do the thing?
Oh, are we about to have the
Oh, so we're gonna have to wait for the Element Man to time out, because in Beast Over you don't have access to Mega Man at all. Did get a good input, but unfortunately that Beast Over is gone immediately.
And yeah, so it seems like yeah, that second round it seems like Passbyword got completely screwed over by Cust Bug. And I don't think, did they ever go into Dust?
Oh, actually I'm not too sure. I don't think so. But yeah, I mean, Marvino's build does make it very scary to go into Dust, and that custom bug can stack very quickly, especially in fast game. But yeah, well played.
Yeah, I think as we saw there, the Alcoda is very strong with the Magnums and the Bubble Elect combos. And yeah, those were both rounds were very close. Well played to both players.
All right, and with that, let's head into the setups into our next match, which is A4 Average versus Ubu. So we haven't seen either of these players for today's stream. And starting with A4 average, you can see they're running actually an interesting cast that we haven't seen for quite a bit, feels like.
Yeah, so we've got a A4 average running the salad cust. And with this combination of R code and N code. And yeah, so in R code, we've got the Bubble Star 3, Flash Bomb 2, Assassin Sword, Meteors, Heat Dragon, and Uninstall. And actually, they have attack plus 30, but no roll V3, which is interesting. They've got Tengu Man and Ground Man instead.
Oh, that's...
And then on... go ahead.
No, so I was just wondering, that attack plus 30 is probably there for the Sun Moon PA, I'm guessing?
Yeah, it's probably for the PA, but the thing about Sun Moon is it's like, it's okay. Like, it's not a... Oh, yeah, as Rusel Kawai says in chat, we've got a... Yeah, heading into Uvu's side. Uvu's got the A code with a Master Cross. So we have Sun Moon against Master Cross here.
Oh, wow, that's going to be really interesting, actually.
Yeah, we're gonna have to see which of these two players is able to land their respective PAs here. And yeah, both players have Meteor Knuckle. Uvu only has 4 navies, which is actually, that's fine. Like, you don't always have to run 4 navies, so Uvu just has the usual 3, and then Spout Ban SP. And yeah, they've got a Master Cross, of course, the Tank Cannon Reg, the Uvu special.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So yeah, this is actually going to be a very interesting match.
Yeah.
It's going to be this False Armor. So Uvu's cust, they do have Poem, which like Humor also gives you the emotion bug. So we're going to be seeing Uvu probably mostly staying in Baseman and going for these ×2 procs with the full synchro and anger.
Yeah, I mean, Uvu does have quite a bit of an HP lead, about 600 HP over A4 average, and neither player is running recoveries. So if Uvu is able to land their shots, then they are going to do a lot of damage, especially with these potential ×2 procs.
Yeah, so we'll have to, we'll just have to see. Yeah, it's going to come down to this A code against R code and with the PAs.
All right, well, let's head into the match, see how it plays out, see which PA ends up winning. All right, and this is also another double VOD, so this time we have A4 average on the left side and Uvu on the right side of the screen, so you can see both POVs and see maybe if we have both PAs in one turn, who knows. Alright, so this is going to be a very interesting start from both sides. So if we look at Uvu, they already have one part of their PA. They can... So that's one of the issues actually with the Master Cross PA is that the parts themselves, first of all, you have 4 chips you need to look for, and they can be decent on their own. So you don't always want to use them. Like Firehead 3, the Risky Honeys, Eloquence 3 even, they're decent to use on their own.
Yeah, Uvu does have a white pill, so they can use that. They can use the white pill and Spout Cross with the other Aqua Needle 3, and it is actually pretty good damage.
Yeah, I mean, with the ×2 boost, how much damage would it even do? Is it like around 300, I think, if you have a white pill?
Yeah, I think, yeah, it's 80 damage and 3 hits. Actually, with Spout Cross, oh wow, that would be like like over 400 damage. Is it really that strong? Wow.
Yeah. Ooh. That's interesting, actually. Yeah, I never realized it can do that much.
Yeah, the other thing, though, about Aqua Needle from when I've played it is it's kind of like... It has the same thing as Fire Hit, where if you, like, it can just miss if you use it while they're moving.
Yeah, and unfortunately, it does apply flashing, which is why if the first hit connects, the second and third are going to miss on their own. So you need to either get a counter hit, but even then, the third hit's going to miss. So the ideal thing is to use it with a white capsule.
Yeah, it's really dumb that all 3 hits of it cause blinking. So, like, yeah, you can't even use it, like, to freeze them or anything to get all the hits. Like, the only way is with the white pill.
We see Uvu just taking a few chips at a time, just playing it slow, trying to take their time, find their combo pieces, basically. Whereas A4 average. So one of the strong things about the so-called salad cast that A4 average is running is that they have both beat and rush, as well as high custom and decently high attack as well. So what that means is if Uvu here wants to use this Erase Man, by using it on its own, it's going to be taken by beat. But they would have to use it in a time freeze counter, and that can be one way to get around it.
Yeah, the salad cust basically is everything you'd ever want, except the HP is kind of low at only 1400, but having the beat and rush definitely helps compensate for the low HP. And it also has the bug fix, so you can save, or it has bug stop, so you can save a space in your folder by not needing to run the bug fix.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely very strong cost. It's won plenty of tournaments in the past as well, so definitely one to keep an eye out on.
Oh, and it looks like they're going for the machine gun with white capsule into the Sun Moon. Ooh, and they also have Tengu, so...
Oh no, dropping the life aura too early.
Yeah, Uvu could have held on to that and been able to TFC the Sun Moon. Oh boy.
There it goes. Does quite a bit of damage if it lands and uninstalls. Sun Moon is actually a pretty strong P8, but unfortunately the main disadvantages that it has is it uses very important parts like uninstall and the attack plus 30, and it can miss somewhat easily as well. Oh no, but this time Uvu is retaliating with their own PA and starting with the ×2 as well, so this life aura is only going to block a single hit. Oh wow, that's massive damage coming out from Uvu, getting every single hit and basically bringing back the game.
Yeah, that is crazy. We actually, both PAs landed here and for huge amounts of damage.
So now it's going to be on A4 average to try to get the comeback. They're losing on the HP lead, but they still have a lot of damaging options. So we see the potential for Meteor Knuckles, Neo Varitan, and Uvu has their own potential retaliation with the Risky Honey and the Alok Pulse 3, which could actually close the game if they land.
Yeah, at this point, I'd kind of almost want to see a beast out from Uvu here, because yeah, they've done so much damage that they don't really need a emotion bug to finish off A4 average.
Ooh, A4 average was chip charging the Envis, but on seeing that TFC opportunity, they just decided to go for it and play it safe. Ooh, nice. That nearby miss. Let's see how many hits from the Meteor Knuckles. 1, 2, 3, 4 hits, which is still above average.
Yeah, it was definitely very clutch for Uvu, because Uvu was actually up in that top corner and could have taken even more hits, but they moved down to the center row at the last second. And now Uvu has their own Meteor Knuckle here.
Ooh, but A4 average is very low on HP, getting 3 hits is going to be enough. So depending on where they're going to stand, 3 hits could be a very likely outcome. Oh no, in the middle it's not very likely though. Let's see, 1. Yeah, 1 hit.
Oh wow, and the rush comes out here for A4 average. Let's see, they have this bubble star.
Ooh,
Oh, and
very nice. Getting that chip charge on that bubble star because Uvu was still uninstalled. So that confirmed the hits into each other and they were able to finish off the game right there. It was a very close match, well played, but now that brings us into this game 2, and we're starting with that Guardian field again, which in my opinion is one of the more fun fields you can have.
yeah, the Guardians are definitely pretty funny. They can punish some chips like Boomer pretty hard actually, because if you try to use Boomer, it would hit both of them, and you definitely don't want to take that 400 damage.
Yeah, that is a good point. But we have both players playing in Falzar. Uvu's trying to stay in baseman for the emotion bug. So we're going to have to see if A4 average is able to get the B-back input in time and take the cubes without being decrossed, which looks like it's going to be a safe play.
Yeah, I saw that Uvu does have Blastman SP in their hand. Or not, they have Erase Man in their hand, but it looks like they didn't take it this turn.
Ooh, that cannon. Oh, unfortunately, they're just at the end of their invis there. Could have connected, but end up missing.
And going for the area grab first, and then the Judge Man is. Oh wow! But I just A4 average. They already have both the Neo variable and Meteor Knuckle here, even though it's only the second turn. And yeah, it looks like they're gonna go for it right away. So we'll have to see if this lands.
Yeah, they also have 2 parts of the PA, and unfortunately that Heat Dragon completely misses somehow. I'm not sure how that happened.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they still had beat. Oh, that's an unfortunate TFC. Because now they still get the Inves. So Uvu will not be able to land this fire hit here.
Ooh, missing the Neo variant. Meteor Knuckles is still in non-optimal position. It doesn't even lock them in.
Yeah, and unfortunately, no emotion bug proc on that fire hit. Otherwise, that would actually have been like huge damage. If you get the ×2 fire hit on grass, it's 720 damage. But even just the regular fire hit on grass is still a lot of damage.
Oh, now we see A4 average is going for the PA play, but the paralysis is getting blocked. Oh, and yeah, there is the issue. If you aren't able to confirm it, then most of your hits are going to miss.
Yeah, I feel like whenever I play Sun Moon, I just try to use it with the bubble star. Oh, wow, and the counter hit.
Unfortunately, because of the emotion bug that Uvu's running, there is no full synchro that they get to keep, but they still have the potential with that paralysis. So we'll see what they end up going for. And obviously getting counter hit is still a big counter. Ooh.
So Uvu can use this risky honey here to actually counter the Uvu used the bees a little too early.
Oh, this is a very painful turn. Just having to take these Tango breaths. Tango is actually one of the strongest DPS in terms of beast charges that you can have. So just taking all of them, no flashing, nothing to help with either.
Yeah, I think fortunately for Uvu, they are only at attack 4 instead of attack 5. But even then, that's still, as we saw, a lot of damage.
All right.
I wonder which panel that mind landed on.
Yeah, so mine can only land on fixed panels that aren't occupied by an object. So unfortunately, that had a single option. But now, ooh!
Oh,
That Tengu breath.
yeah, and that's it.
Yeah.
Uvu could have been safe if they just camped in that back column, but
Yeah, I mean, Tengu breath is a bit of a jump scare if you think about it. It comes out very quickly, does quite a lot of damage, especially if you get hit on the 3 hit area.
but yeah, that was still a very exciting match to watch, especially the first round with both
Oh, yeah.
both the Sun Moon and Master Cross both landing.
That was a Master Cross times 2 as well. That was amazing. All right. With that, let's head into the setups for our next match, which is Makoto vs Paulo 0. All right. So now we're going to a bit of a familiar Navicast. Seeing from Makuto 66, we see that standard high HP, high speed, this time with one less HP bug compared to Passbyword and Alpha, who were running it previously.
Yeah, they have they only got the level 2 HP bug, but they actually still managed to get the level 3 Buster bug. Oh, okay, but they're also going for the variation where instead of the custom 1 and undershirt, you've got the first barrier and rush. And then yeah, they've got the hub batch instead of meteor knuckle. Although I think with the hub batch, you could have gone for more HP instead of the attack max, but having the attack and hub is actually nice because in uninstall matchups it lets you hold on to your hub batch.
Yeah, definitely not being forced to use your hub batch early is definitely a nice plus, especially when if your opponent is playing nothing that particularly breaks panels, nothing like Geddon, anything like that.
And yeah, I actually just realized, so yeah, both players here have M code. And yeah, M is a very high damaging code on Falzer. You've got the M Boomer in Risky Honey 3, so M is extremely strong with Tomahawk Cross. You've of course got the Muramasa, you've got the Machine Gun 3. And obviously also with Bees, you've got the Bee Banish combo, and it looks like both players here do have both double point and attack plus 30. So this could actually be this could be a very short match if these players are able to like land these all this high damage from M code with the Bee Banishes and Muramasas. This could be an explosive match. And it looks like Paulo 0 also has Cross Divide as their Giga, which is pretty hype to see.
Ooh, Cross Divide can be a bit difficult to land, but if you can get it, especially on a Tengu, then it could be quite a lot of damage.
Yeah, with both the Muramasa and Cross Divide,
yeah,
Makuto is going to have to be very careful about going into Tengu in this match, because they could just take that 1000 damage from either of them. And yeah, actually both players here also have a splash roll 3, which is, these are, so the double point can also be used in addition to with Bee Banish. It can also be pretty nice on the roll V3. So yeah, both players actually have pretty similar folders here.
Yeah, though actually we see that Paulo decided to go with a folder that's a bit more heavy on the M code. So they have the burn square, they have the tank cannon 3s, which are missing from Makuto's build. But yeah, with that, I believe, do you have anything else to add before we head into the match?
No, I think we can get into this match and see this M-Code Morb in action.
Yeah. Alright, let's head into the match, see how it plays out. Ooh, so we can see already there is the Risky Honey and the plus 30 in hand, so potentially looking for grab revenge or even just using that on its own, because they, I believe, have multiple copies of Risky Honey. Yeah, so they do have 3 Risky Honeys. That means you can basically be hit by an unexpected ×2 bees, which is going to be very strong.
Yeah, especially since they also have that attack plus 30, because unlike when you go for it with double point, with the attack plus 30, it's not as telegraphed. One thing we haven't mentioned is that the fast gauge is in play, so there is no slow gauge from Makuto, I believe, so it's going to be stuck on a fast gauge match again. So what I really want to see from this match, this is something we used to get a lot in like Navis before Tomahawk Man was nerfed, is I want to see the bees used to block bees.
Oh yeah, that is definitely a highlight in the matches that ends up happening in. You always get... I mean, it sounds very funny first of all, but also it's very interesting seeing how people time out. It ends up being basically a staring match, if that makes sense. Both sides are anticipating the opponent, waiting for who's going to use the bees first, because it's going to be very painful for the person who used it first.
In Twitch chat, Nanu, Tony, and Liquid, can bees make bees shoot out like 100 more bees, or is there a limit? Yeah, there is a limit. The most you can get is, I think, up to 5 swarms. Oh, wow, and Blocky the grab banish here. And yeah, that was a lot of damage.
Oh, nice. And dodging the ambo mode, but let's see if this burn square connects. Unfortunately, barely missing.
Yeah, burn square is definitely a lot faster compared to things like Magnum, so burn square can be pretty tough to get the timing on. Oh, this is gonna remind me of the sting in BN Online.
It's going to be very painful if one of the players is able to get their double point combo into this game.
Yeah, both players are going to have to be very careful here.
Yeah, it's unbelievable how much damage that can do. So in this match, actually, Element Man is going to have a lot of value because both players have a lot of grass chips, the M-boomers, the risky honeys that they can use. So being able to decross the opponent, potentially on grass, can be very good. Ooh, the tank cannon.
Wow. Yeah, we're going to have to see which one of these players says it's risky honeying time and risky honeys all over the other one.
So unfortunately, it looks like Paulo is getting decrossed, so they are losing their ×2 modifier on the risky honey.
Yeah, although the thing is, when you see a Tomahawk cross that's not charging the buster or shooting P shots or anything, it is kind of it does make it kind of sus that they might be charging up risky honey. So being able to use risky honeys without Tomahawk cross is kind of better, because like it makes it much harder for the opponent to tell if you're going for it. So you might be able to actually like get more blocks in with it that way.
Yeah, that's definitely a point. That's one of the things that have to go through the mind of the player as well. They're playing, seeing how they want to react to the opponent, seeing what they could potentially be doing. We see Invis being dropped, and as we already know, Invis is a very strong defensive chip, especially in fast gauge, and the Rescue Honey unfortunately gets completely blocked by Makuto's own Invis.
Yeah, and did that have the attack plus 30 on it?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, so Makuto is definitely in a better spot here. They've got a 500 HP lead, but the big thing is that they still have their Tomahawk cross, which means, yeah, they still have access to these ×2 risky honeys.
Ooh.
And, well, never mind.
Yeah. Commentator's curse striking again. Ooh, and this is actually a pretty rough hand. So they have both the grab banishes, the double point, but nothing really to use it with. There's no risky honey. They could potentially use it with the machine gun, but without a white capsule to confirm it, then it's not really worth it to risk it for like 1 or 2 hits max.
Yeah, they could just go for hub batch here, because it's not like a Paulo Zero has any uninstall or anything they need to worry about with using hub.
Yeah, that is a good point actually. The match is starting to get into the later 10s, so in fast gauge there is the 15-10 limit is still the same. It means that matches can end fairly quickly without really, if people lose track, basically the match can end very quickly.
Yeah, I'm not expecting an M code mirror of all things to go to damage judge though, but both players actually have been playing pretty well defensively so far. So actually, yeah, a lot of resources have already been used.
Yeah,
and both players still have quite a bit of HP.
Yeah, to be fair, the M code does have good defensive options as well. I mean, Rescue is pretty good defensive too.
Oh, this is...
Ooh, they did decide to go with that machine gun, but unfortunately because of the Invis, they can't really do much with it.
Yeah, looks like they're just waiting. Paulo probably doesn't realize that they are using double point with the machine gun. They're probably expecting bees. So this might... Oh, they went for this judgment, but unfortunately it whiffs. Oh, wow.
Ooh, completely missing and counter hit.
Oh, the counter hit, but they also get... Oh, wow.
Ooh. The roll
oh,
plus
and there
60
it is.
do quite a bit of damage as well as healing, and now the sides completely switched. Now Paulo is ahead by almost 700 HP.
Yeah, that double point roll completely. They went from being about even HP to, yeah, the 700 HP difference. That is the power of double point roll.
Now, unfortunately, Makuto doesn't have the double point to use with the risky honey and the grab bandage, so they'll have to use them on their own.
Yeah, they did get the counter hit with their double point machine gun, but unfortunately they also they got the counter hit,
yeah.
But they also got hit by the Tengu charge, so it disrupted the rest of their double point machine gunner. That could have been huge.
Ooh, Raceman coming down. Actually, I'm not sure if you really want to use a Raceman into risky honey. Yeah, they're doing the right play by waiting, because that can potentially get you a counter hit. Nice.
They counter hit the Muramasa with those bees. And so now the HP's a bit closer, and now they have their own Muramasa. And Paulo Zero is still in Tengu Cross, but okay, they're keeping their chips.
Ooh,
oh,
nice.
Wow. And so they can immediately remove this life aura with the wind rack.
And I believe this is the last beast out turn for Paulo, so if they don't use the Muramasa this turn or Paulo ends up crossing, then that is potentially losing out on 1,000 damage from that Muramasa. Ooh, okay, looks like playing it safe, going for the life aura. I feel like I would have gone for the confirmed from Judgment, but oh no, that
wow, I'm getting all these Buster Bug procs.
Oh, nice. Using life aura at the very end of turn, which is going to cause that Tengu to lose. I mean, cause them to lose their Tengu form. So now they would have to use a Wind Rack or 200 damage to deal with that life aura.
Yeah, and they are just down to these last 5 chips here, so it's going to be interesting to see how they play it. I'm not actually sure who would be up on damage judge.
Yeah, so I was just wondering about that. I feel like because of that roll plus 60, Makuto would be ahead, but yeah, I'm not too sure.
Oh yeah, for some reason I thought Paulo's hero only started with 1400 HP, but they also started with 1800. So yeah, I think Makuto is definitely ahead. And they do have this Muramasa here.
Okay, so they did cross cancel going into ground.
But does Paulo, it seems like they might have nothing left to deal with this life aura.
Oh yeah, it does seem like they're out of options. Life aura is one of the really strong chips that can be removed by a common out, like just Wind Drag. But unfortunately, if you use all of your Wind Drags, then you can be stuck in a position where you can't really do much. And yeah, we are going into damage judge.
Yeah, considering I think Makuto is definitely gonna win this.
Oh yeah, by quite a bit.
Yeah, by about 600. I was not expecting this match to go to damage judge, considering how much firepower M-Code has.
Yeah, but I mean, as you mentioned earlier, both sides played it very well defensively, blocking that Muramasa with the bees and then avoiding the cross divide. Both of these landing could have pretty much finished the game.
Yeah, it was definitely very close. If Paulo Zero had landed their cross divide, I think that would have then the damage judge would have only been like a 100 HP difference. But actually, that might have also just been enough to delete Makuto.
Ooh,
wow, there's the tank cannon jump scare.
Unfortunately, it does get blocked by that barrier 100. Riceman also misses. Makuto in YouTube chat is saying, I love bees, and bees are great. Oh, we did love bees.
We need bees to pollinate all the flowers and also to destroy our enemies. Yeah, who doesn't love bees?
So
they
true.
do those two very important things.
And I mean, the people who get hit by bees, they get deleted, so they don't have the chance to hate bees. So there you go. That's a plus and a plus.
Yeah, it's true. All the people who hate bees are dead. So everyone loves bees.
Alright, and now looks like going into turn 2, they are thinking about going with the life aura. I think there was still a full cast in Makuto's hand, so one play they could do is just go into the turn, immediately mash out that full cast, get another turn, just go through their folder a bit more fluidly.
Yeah, I guess the only thing is that their opponent's also in Dusk Cross, so it would be giving them letting them cycle through their folder as well.
And actually, both players aren't really running all that many machine guns either, so there is no big risk of being decrossed early. I think Makuto's running one and Paulo's running none of them actually. I don't see any.
Yeah, which is interesting because Machine Gun 3 is one of the best chips in M-Code, so you usually run 3 or at least 2.
So both sides are going into life aura, just taking it slow, very defensive turn. And thankfully, Makuto's already found their bug fix, so they don't really have to worry about custom bug ticking down. They can just decide how they want to go through their phone. Ooh, and we do see that double point with plenty of risky honeys in hand. So they are potentially still waiting on the banish. Maybe we will see the B banish combo. And actually, while we were talking about dust cross, do you want to explain how dust shoot or dust recycling works? I don't think we've explained it yet.
Yeah, so the way it works is that you select up to 5 chips as usual, and then it cycles them to the back of your folder and lets you like the amount of chips you cycle to the back of your folder, you draw that many new chips on the current turn. So it's kind of like the closest thing BN6 has to Search Soul. And then it's very powerful for letting you like go through your folder and try to find specific combos, like as we're seeing here, the B banish combo. And it also like it's very useful because it cycles the chips just to the back of your folder. So if you have like your recovs early on, oh wow.
Ooh.
Using the cross divide just to deal with that life aura. But yeah, if you have like your recovs like at the beginning when you're still at obviously full HP and don't need them yet, you can send them to the back of your folder. Well, it's kind of a bad example because doing that with recovs is risky. Because you could also like die before you get to them again.
So Panagander-D in YouTube chat is asking, assuming optimal condition, how much damage does bees do? And that's actually a pretty interesting question. If you want to say bees on their own without any boosts, then Risky Honey does 100. Is it 100? Yeah, it's 100 on its own. And it can fire up to 5 swarms, so it can do up to 500. But if you get a ×2, then that jumps to 1,000. If you get a +60 on each hit, then that's already a lot of damage.
Yeah, I am traumatized from ever using Elect Body in mod cards, because there was a previous mod cards tournament where I had Elect Body and my opponent was using bees. And yeah, being an Elect Body and taking that extra ×2 on every hit of bees is not fun.
Ooh, looks like both players are chip charging something. Makoto end up using their bees, but now they have their chance to retaliate with their own Risky Honey into the stand. Wouldn't have any boosts, but that will still potentially be 5 Risky Honey shots being fired out. Or maybe even more actually. Do you think they can get out 2 Risky Honeys?
It looks like they're not going for the bees to counter the bees. They're just, boo, don't use Invis, use the bees. Use the bees. It looks like they're just gonna use the Invis instead.
Yeah, so actually I'm not sure if they know, but by using Invis, because Invis takes out your... Oh, never mind, okay. I mean, the idea is that Invis will basically remove your hitbox in a sense. So yeah, it just goes through you instead of being defended by bees. So if you have Invis up, you wouldn't be able to use a defensive chip to protect yourself.
Yeah, it will still block things that pierce Invis. Like if you're Invis and use bees, it would still block things like a Rice Man. And yeah, I guess the other thing we should mention about bees is bees can block anything except bees do not block fire, but they do block things that are breaking.
Ooh, getting decrossed.
Oh, wow.
Nice. I feel like we've often seen the Windrak into Muramasa combo, but I'm not too sure if it's actually confirmed. It does need quite a bit of timing to actually get it to land as well.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. It might also depend on weird thing. Oh, this is gonna... Yeah, that denies the double point. Oh, wow.
And they also have the anti-damage, which would deny the banish. Ooh. This is a bit scary. They're waiting a bit too long. They should just use the defense. Yeah, okay. Oh no, there's still the second risky honey hive coming back.
Yeah, but this is still a great position for them at this +2 area with Tengu Cross. We'll have to see if Paulo Zero has anything to deal with this here.
Oh, unfortunately, oh no, and getting denied anyway, I guess. But White Capsule does nothing against Tomahawk, because Tomahawk gives Stats Guard, which prevents flinching and prevents paralysis. But ooh, getting decrossed on grass.
I think they do still have their roll V3, so they could use that to recover some of their HP, but I believe they've already used both their double point and attack +30, so it won't be the huge boosted roll like we saw in the last round.
Or the other play they could go for is to try to land that beast over Muramasa and closing off the game here. That could still be an option. It's going to be a very risky one, but if they can land it, then obviously the payoff will be worth it. Ooh, okay. Brawl is coming out, but unfortunately in a TFC, the second chip goes fast, which means that Makuto is able to get the delete with that scout van. Yeah, well played.
Yeah, GG's.
All right. Before we head into the next match, we did receive some donations during the previous match. One was a $5 anonymous donation, so with no comment. So thank you for the donation. And the next one was from REB or Reb. I'm not sure how the name is pronounced, but it was a $10 donation saying, "Always love the stream, mango bees" for the chat. And thank you for the donation as well. All right, with that, let's head into setups for our next match of the day, which is Rockin vs A4 Average.
Yeah, so we saw A4 Average in a earlier match, but this is our first time seeing Rockin. And they've got a pretty interesting cust here. So they've got this, it's kind of like a modified version of the Salad cust. So instead of the cust 8, they just have cust 7, but they still have the rush, undershirt, and beat. And it looks like they also have shield, which is pretty interesting. So we might be seeing them. The shield, unfortunately, doesn't work when you're in crosses. It only works when you're in base Mega Man form. But they don't have anything else they don't have like any humor bug or anything to go with the base man form. But having the shield's definitely nice too for if you get decrossed. And yeah, they've got an interesting folder here. It's got seems to be a mix of L and B code, and then it's also got the N code and also J code. So yeah, quite a few different codes here, which is actually not a bad thing at all. Like one of the big misconceptions from back in the game facts days is, you need to only have mono code. But that's not true at all. Because, yeah, just having, like, chips in different codes, like, instead of having, like, all, like, what's better? Having, like, a bad chip, but in the same code, or having, like, a really good chip, but in a different code? Like, obviously having strong chips and other codes as Splash is worth it.
Yeah, and I mean, we've seen a lot of very common splashes, things like Life Aura, Grab Banishes, and this time we see Neo Barrier as well, which I always think is a worthy splash to run.
I didn't actually realize they had hub batch. It is interesting though. I'm not sure. Do they have no? Oh, okay, they have 2 area grabs, which is still pretty low, but it's at least something.
Yeah, but this time we're also having another double fast gauge, or I mean 2 fast gauges from Rockin, which means another fast gauge match. So that's going to be interesting. A lot of fast gauges this stream, surprisingly.
Yeah, we've been getting a lot of fast gauges and a lot of Falzar.
Yeah, that is true. Though sometimes, I mean, these matches are just a selection from the matches that happened on the tournament, and sometimes we just randomly have a tournament with mostly Falzar, mostly Gregor, and just the hive mind, the hive mind version, I guess, sometimes works.
Yeah, it's pretty rare, but it's always hype whenever we get those cycles that are perfectly balanced.
Yeah.
But yeah, for anyone watching, no, Falzar is not better. Both versions are good. It's just that today happens to be a Falzar day. But yeah, I think with that we can get into it.
Before we head into the match, we did receive another donation, which was a $50 donation from 2in11, and thank you for the very generous donation. It has no message with it, but yeah, thank you again. All right, and with that, let's head into the match and see how it plays out. All right, so this time we're watching from Rockin's point of view, and we do see that actually one of the things they're running is only 1 anti-damage, but along with an anti-Navi as well. So it's going to be interesting seeing how they decide to play that.
Oh yeah, that is pretty low on defense, but I guess they do also have the barrier 200 and U code to go with the life aura. Actually, only two invis as well, so yeah, that is pretty low on defense.
They do have that shield, which actually, as we saw from the previous A4 average match against Uvu, shield can be a very good option in blocking flash bombs and things like that. So that could be a good option in denying that Sun Moon play potential.
Yeah, actually, neither player opting to cross so far, probably just trying to feel out what their opponent is going for. And yeah, now we see A4 average going into Dust.
Ooh, so actually one mechanic that people don't end up finding out about from the playthrough is that if you take some chips into the turn, you don't end up using them as we saw here. So Rockin didn't really use their anti-Navi. You can press OK if you don't take any chips or if you don't beast out, because beasting out counts as a chip. You get to keep your hand, so that can be very important if you have a big turn or if your opponent just uses a full cost out of nowhere.
Yeah, and you actually can still change crosses as well. You just can't beast out. But you can change crosses and oh wow. So the last man TFC, but now the Sun Moon. Yeah, both players doing huge damage to each other here.
How much damage does Sun Moon actually do in total if everything lands? I think it's around 700, is that right?
Yeah, I think it's 700, because I think the meteors, it's like 6 meteors that are 50 each for 300. And then the lasers 200, and then the final attack at the end is also 200.
Oh, so Desmond in chat is saying it's 300, 200, 200, so it's 600 total apparently. Oh wait. That's
I forget if the meteors...
just ignore me, it's fine. It was just a counting issue, I guess.
Okay, but Rockin does not have this J code turn with Hub and the 2 Recover 300, so that does recover most of the damage from that Sun Moon. Oh, the rush. So A4 average will be able to get one of these Tengu Gusts in thanks to the rush.
And
no! Oh no! I hate that bird. And yes, 666 HP. That is so cursed.
Yeah, maybe that's why Beat just was prepared to just take away that Hub Badge. That is a very big loss, and then taking the Meteor Hit Knuckles on the same turn as well.
Yeah, I hate that bird.
I believe Hub Badge is 99 MP, so that was a very good meal for Beat to munch on later on.
Yeah, it is kind of funny because MB in 6, it only matters up to 60 for tag chip, so above that it's kind of just for lore. And oh wow, the Bubble Star into Wind Rack. And we'll see if at A4 average, okay, they have no problem getting the Tengu pull even in Beast out. That's actually pretty tough to do. It's like frame perfect.
Going Tengu and completely denying the lifer, and then unfortunately that ground man just going into that invisible hole, just disappearing.
Yeah, poor ground man is now just endlessly tumbling into the abyss.
Ooh, the bubble times 2, waiting it out, very nice.
Yeah, they waited for quite a while. I almost wonder if they could have mashed out there. And yeah, this is very close now. Both players at very low HP. This could go either way. I almost feel like going into Tomahawk Man here would be good, because that way an Erase Man won't leave you stunned. Oh, Beast over.
Ooh, the nearby double life sword. The ending was amazing. So, to explain briefly what happened there, when using nearby in Beast Over, you can get any of the 4 inputs, so you can actually end up getting normal sword as well. But the Beast Over decided to bless A4 average and just went for the double life sword, and in doing so, got a counter hit, which also denied Rockin from being able to retaliate, and basically confirmed the win there.
Yeah, that was actually crazy. And yeah, the Beast Over AI just picks a random one of the commands to use, and sometimes it also messes up.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just random. I'm not sure if it's like an even 25% chance for each. I'm not actually sure how it works.
Yeah,
I mean, there's a lot of things about how Beast Over AI works that we don't know. Ooh, but gets the D-Cross here. And the Proto-Man SP.
Fortunately, the Judgment does miss as well. This could mean there is a potential Sun Moon follow-up coming up. Let's see. Oh no, it was an Acid Sword. Okay.
Acid Sword. Oh, but this actually was enough to cause anger. Do it. Use the ×2 erase, man. Oh, just going into... Oh, wow. Not even...
I'm not sure,
they're in
actually.
the perfect position to use erase, man, too.
Yeah, but I feel like Beat wasn't activated yet. I'm not sure if it was.
I guess not, but better to throw erase man to Beat than up again.
Yeah, that is good. There is the Hub Badge, so it might be tempting to just go for it. Oh no.
Yeah, they could try to TFC it through Beat. So that is something with Beat and Rush you can do if they're still active. They won't activate if you use the chip in a TFC. Although sadly you can't do that with Kernel Force against Beat. Oh wow.
Nice. So being able to use that invis to block that Meteor Knuckles, but was very well played from A for Average, getting that double life sword, but this time actually doing the input. Which is actually a pretty difficult input to get through in PvP. Oh, we do see that I have bad potential.
They need to use the hub, so then their cut screen will say "lol."
Oh, oh no. Okay, so instead decided to go with a bit of defensive, taking anti-damage. Yeah, so fast gauge, just the turn ends too quickly before the invis runs out. Ooh, actually chip charging that fast gauge is interesting. So the dust chip charge is very good for utility, yeah, because you can use that to avoid a lot of damage and track panels as well, which is nice. Ooh, anti-navi coming down. Let's see if they get any value out of it. Ooh, nice.
Oh.
Very nice. Oh, yeah.
So I'm not sure if the beat is still active. That could be pretty rough for trying to get this Blast Man SP, because you definitely usually don't want to throw SP navies to beat.
Oh,
And
no.
yeah, wow, that would have
yeah.
that would have interrupted the wind rack and everything.
And the D-Cross would have done massive damage as well, unfortunate. Though at least the rush was proc before. Ooh, looks like A for Average was holding on something. It was in a race, man. Okay. Wouldn't really do much, but if they have Sun Moon, then this area is going to make it very difficult to land that.
Yeah, and this time the hub batch will go through, because that bird has been fed.
Yeah, did get a good meal as well, but yeah.
Oh
Ooh.
yeah, man, getting uninstalled by Sun Moon right after popping hub would be so rough. Oh wow, that's funny. That the last hit just goes into the hole. It doesn't do the explosion.
I didn't actually know that happens. It just went straight in.
That's actually, yeah, that's really funny.
Oh, and now thanks to the recoveries, Rockin is coming back, being ahead on HP, and can potentially block these charges with the shield. Oh, barely. And yeah, we do see the flash bomb being thrown out, but they do have shield, potentially Judgment as well to break it, or even the Neovari actually. Neovari supersonic beam can be very effective in breaking it and dealing quite a bit of damage, or just taking it, I guess.
Yeah, just body blocking and flash bomb is usually good. One of the funny things Electros can do is chip charge the flash bomb, so then blocking it also paralyzes you. But obviously, flash bomb and Tomahawk Cross can't do that, and both players going spout here.
This is going to be a very painful turn. Yeah, and then the Magnum will just end the game. There it goes.
Oh wow! I thought did that Elect Dragon have a white pill on it?
Did, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, that meant they were not left flashing. And yes, so we're going into round 3.
Yeah, so just to explain, Rockin did have a white capsule on that Electragon, which meant that instead of flashing, it applies paralysis effect, which is why we did see the paralysis at the end there.
And going into Tomahawk turn 1 to avoid the stun from Rush. I wonder if we could be seeing the assassin.
Ooh.
Oh, the counter hit. Ooh, and beat. I guess both players have the bird here.
Oh no. Rockin does have shield, I believe, which we haven't seen too much, especially because shield doesn't actually work in crosses. They have to be in base Mega Man.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. And in 4, it actually still works with souls. But that was changed in 5 and 6, so those types of things only work when you're in your base form.
And I mean, in 4, wasn't shield with no cooldown? You could use it like every single frame or something.
Yeah, that was also changed in 5. Oh, and the Sun Moon. Oh boy.
Oh no, they had the defense, but unfortunately it was just a bit too late. Ooh, that's going to be very painful.
Yeah, I think the barrier 200 would have only blocked like, it wouldn't have even blocked like the full laser or anything.
Oh yeah, the fire was on grass, so it probably would have been destroyed by the first fire hit.
Yeah, so this is now a very rough situation. Down 1,000 HP.
Ooh, and they also are crossing into Spat Cross, so no more getting access to the anger either. Ooh. Fortunately, mashing a bit too quickly, losing out on the anti-damage. There is going to be a bit of recovery from the Electragon, which is not too bad.
Yeah, both players. Oh wow, this could be it.
1, 2, 3. Ooh, single hit.
Yeah, and Rockin does have Recup 300s, but unfortunately they are nowhere to be seen in their hand. So surviving this turn and getting to their Recuvs could be very difficult, but they do have Life Aura. Oh
Ooh.
wow.
Very nice. That could have actually been very close if Rockin used their own Life Aura first, because that would have allowed A for average to TFC that.
Yeah, and I'm kind of surprised that they didn't go for Tengu. And wow, there are both Recuvs.
Ooh, very nice.
Rockin is practically back from the dead.
And yeah, they're just going for the recovery. He's probably going to mash it as soon as possible just to get that survival.
And yeah, still down by quite a bit though. But they at least have a chance.
Oh, there is that near virus still in play, so if they stay in Tengu Cross, that could potentially be very painful D-Cross still waiting to happen. Ooh,
And yeah, unfortunately, you have to throw Tengu Man to beat, even though with Life Aura and Defensive, that's like, oh, they could have used Hub and destroyed the Flash Bomb with the Falzar Buster.
Yeah, so Flash Bombs actually don't have a lot of HP, and Falzar Busters, they fire from your sides, so even if the Flash Bomb goes to the back row, you can still deny them. Ooh, let's see if they get it. Nice.
Oh wow, and yeah, an unfortunate TFC there for A4 average, TFCing the trap on a Raceman. And now suddenly this is extremely close.
Oh no.
Ooh, and they've got a great hand here with this High Boomer and both of the B Bros. We could see a Broto Man finisher.
Oh, double hit as well. This could actually be game here if they mash out this Blast Man SP, yeah, and then step up to confirm the Judgment. There it goes.
Oh,
They got the comeback. Nice.
Yeah, what a massive comeback from Rockin there.
Yeah, that was actually very well played, especially at the end there, being able to get the recoveries on time and then having the perfect hand with the grab banish, judge man, and the blast mana speed dealing double damage. Just going all out and finishing off the game there.
Yeah, that was definitely a crazy comeback. Like, I thought they were at 1 HP, didn't even have their recovs in hand, but all they needed was Life Aura to get through that turn and get to those recovs and then bring it back.
Yeah, definitely well played from both sides. Right, but with that, it's time to head into the setups for our final match of the day with Makuto vs Uvu. Alright, so we've seen both sides playing already, and we've seen them plenty of times, I believe.
We have seen both of them.
So we've seen both of them in a match before. We know roughly what combos they want to go for. So Uvu has that Master Cross PA and Makoto's with the M code with a bit of A and R splash.
Yeah, it will be very interesting. We basically got a B banish against Master Cross. And so Uvu does also have 3 copies of Risky Honey as well. So they have the one for the Master Cross, but then they actually have another 2. So we could be seeing a lot of bees flying around here.
Oh yeah,
and
definitely.
Of course, Uvu also has those tank cannons. So I think what we figured out is that if Uvu is able to land that tank cannon on turn 1, that gives Uvu like an extra 80% chance of winning.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much been confirmed. Every time it happened, Uvu's had very good odds of winning that match. So who knows?
It's like the reverse Aqua Spiral Death Flag. It's like the opposite of that.
And I believe Aqua or Spoutman is actually one of Uvu's favorite navis, so that's interesting. I wonder if there's something there.
Yeah, could be. It's like all the bad vibes from the Aqua Spiral go into being good vibes for Uvu's tank cannon. But I think with that we can get into the match.
Alright, let's take a look and see how it plays out. Oh wow, so looking at the starting hand, this is already the full B banish combo, double point as well as the plus 30 as well.
Okay, so clearly this is not Makuto playing, but player 0 has actually taken over for Makuto, and that's how they got this draw.
As well as the bug fix. That is quite the lucky draw.
I mean, I feel like going for it on turn 1, that almost kind of, like, with going for stuff on turn 1 like this, always feels like it's actually kind of too risky. Because people, like, usually will bring, like, defense and stuff on turn 1. So, but we'll see if they go for it here and if they could land it.
Yeah, I guess, especially with the cubes as well. So, actually, cubes do only a single hit. So bees, I mean, do a single hit to objects. So that means they wouldn't do nearly as much damage and can basically be completely walled by a fanfare or any other object that's on the field. So going straight for the Tomahawk Cross could be risky because it means that these cubes can be used against you.
They're using the bug fix before the grab banish. Oh wow, yeah, Uvu does have the element trap. But and blocks most of the bees with a shield, I think. So I think the bees only ended up getting 1 or 2 hits then, thanks to the shield. Oh, but the tank cannon misses. But this was still a very good first turn for Ufu. Now that they already know, they don't have to worry about the double point for the rest of the round.
Yeah, that was actually very well played. Being able to block that shield does require quite a bit of time. I mean, being able to block the beast. Especially with risky-handed 3, they're quite fast.
Yeah, if you're only a little bit late on the shield timing, you can like take like the first 3 or 4 hits instead of blocking them.
Went straight into the full cast, just going for a new hand. They already used bug fix, so they don't have to worry about that. Ooh, risky and unfortunately missing. Very nice movement. But that shield as well. Ufu's being on top of using that shield timing very well. Yeah, Makuto's going for that plague, just keeping their hand. And actually both sides, as Desmond's mentioning in chat, both sides have pretty much the same HP, only 1 HP difference. I believe they started with slightly higher HP for Ufu. I think it was 200 more HP, and Ufu decides to go into Dust Cross, which is actually very interesting. I wonder how their hand was looking like, that they felt like they had to go into dust. Element Man SP, Element Man stars. Ooh, nice, being able to land it at the very end of the turn.
Yeah, it is definitely surprising to see Ufu going for Dust Cross this early and foregoing the shield and emotion bug. But I guess Ufu just wants to dig for some of these, dig for that Master Cross BA. And I guess the other thing is Ufu might like go for the strat of like getting dust for a few turns and then maybe trying to intentionally let themselves get decrossed to get back to base ban.
Oh, that's a good point. We see that strat more often in mud cards because you have the abilities or charge shots that you want to keep in your base Mega Man, so you often try to get decrossed on purpose. But yeah, Ufu could try to go for a play like that. I think it's a bit more difficult getting decrossed in dust, depending on what your opponent has. But Makuto is running machine guns and... Ooh.
Oh wow, this Spout Man's gonna mess. Yeah.
Oh, but this Spout Man's going to connect.
Yeah, so the way that a Spout Man works, if you're in your back 2 columns, he uses that hose attack, which is 99% of the time the one you want. Because if you use him outside of the back 2 columns, he just does that single little, aqua shot.
Yeah, I feel like it's... you basically never want to get that single shot. It's just one hit, does weightless damage, does crack the panel, which I guess is maybe the only use you'd want for it.
Yeah, that's the 1% of the time. If you for some reason just really need to crack one of their panels, but
I feel like it's even less than 1%. It's probably like 0.1% something. I've basically never seen that being used on purpose.
Yeah, no, you definitely want these 3 hits with the hose. And so Uvu just playing footsies here, actually able to dodge every single one of those scrap reborn shots.
Yeah, dust charge up can actually be deceivingly hard to avoid because there is a bit of lag from when the charge lands and when it connects. I mean, when it fires to when it hits. So you can have a situation where you feel like it's going to miss, but then a split second later you walk into accident or something.
Yeah, I get hit by it like every time, especially when I'm in Flash Cross.
Ooh,
like when you're in Slash Cross, it feels like those things are more like, I don't know, it feels like Charlie's more of like a heat-seeking missile.
Yeah. Oh, and this time we see Makuto's going into Beast Out, potentially going for that Beast Out play. Oh, and the Meteor Knuckle.
And yeah, oh no, that is, but the Muramasa misses too. Oh wow. Both players are just like whiffing everything here. And so yeah, we still see both players here, despite like Muramasa and Meteor Knuckle being used, both players still at over 1,000 HP.
We still haven't seen most of the PA parts from Uvu, I think, so there can still be a lot of damage. But one thing to keep in mind is that Master Cross PA actually gets countered by Hall. So these now, the Mega Man have to have a fixed panel to be able to stand on it, which means that if the panels are broken because of our rogue Meteor Knuckles that end up hitting everywhere, then that can be making it, that can make it potentially difficult for that Master Cross stand.
It would be pretty funny if, imagine if Master Cross was affected by whether or not you had air shoes. That would be pretty funny, but yeah, unfortunately, the Mega Men summoned in Master Cross do not have air shoes.
So Shinio in Twitch is saying, I'd like to enter, but I'm too scared, I suck too much. And so reply to that is, you don't have to be good, or you don't have to worry about being good. Because, I mean, we all start somewhere, everyone has to play at some point, and the PvP is very different to playing through the game. So everyone, when they start, there is always that hell they have to struggle against. But there are resources to help you learn, and people more than happy to give you advice and things like that. So don't worry about it. The best way to learn is to just get started. We have plenty of new players joining in New Moon and playing in matchmaking. If you don't have to join the tournament if you don't want to. You can just play casual matches with people.
Okay, so it looks like Makuto is going into Tengu here to deal with Uvu's life aura. We'll see. Maybe Uvu will finally have that Master Cross.
Ooh.
Ooh, unfortunately, the Tomahawk Beast charges are missing. It is basically just the same range as Boomer, so you are safe on those center panels.
Yeah, if the opponent's expecting them, they are very difficult to land, and looks like they're trying to bait it on purpose to try to get risky handed procs out of them, which is going to be very funny if that works out. Ooh, Elec Pulse coming down. These Buster procs are doing a lot of damage.
Yeah,
yeah, so as you can see, unfortunately, the Mega Mans need to actually spawn on the field. So by camping at the very back, they can't spawn behind the opponent, so behind Makuto, and half of that damage is gone.
Yeah, I think it only does 400 instead of 600, so... Ooh, and yeah, the bees will finish it off. In Twitch chat, I'm not sure how to pronounce this. Pabeha? No, the swords in Mastercross. Mastercross is well, it's kind of weird. These swords don't do sword damage, but like it's actually different depending on which version you're playing. So, because of course, if you're on Falzar and you use Mastercross, it does use the Spout Cross Aqua attack. And in Gregor, I'd assume Mastercross in Gregor has a fire attack, and also part of it in Gregor, the Erase Cross part does pierce Invis. So it's actually pretty cool that it's a version-dependent PA.
I think the way it works is that the main elemental cycles, so fire, grass, and aqua, actually do the damage they're meant to do. I might be wrong with that.
Yeah, I'd assume that's how it is, but like the ground cross drill part is probably just like pseudo breaking and not actually breaking. And going for the... Oh wow, unfortunately this time Uvu was not able to block that risky honey with shield. And so Tank Cannon, one thing Tank Cannon does is it has push, so it actually wouldn't be blocked by the rock cubes. Uvu, it would basically work the same on rock cubes, the same way as air shot does. At least Tank Cannon should work on them like that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they do push, and I think actually the rock cubes take no damage from the Tank Cannon.
Yeah, that was something we tested a while ago. Yeah, objects, when they get pushed, take 0 damage, so it's not like the Tank Cannon would just destroy them.
I feel like there was something to it, like some of the push types do some damage, but others don't. I don't fully remember.
I think it depends on if it's like neutral objects or allied objects.
Oh, yeah, that might be it, yeah.
Okay, but Uvu here is going into a Tomahawk Cross with this life aura up. But I believe looking at Uvu's setup, unfortunately they are only at attack 1. And they don't have hub batch, so these Tomahawk charge shots from Uvu are actually going to be pretty weak.
So now Makuto's thinking about going into Tengu Cross, but obviously that can be a bit risky, maybe getting decrossed. And fun fact, these objects can block the wind gust. So if Uvu steps down, then that could block the B-back from Tengu, but obviously that puts them at risk of being locked by an air grab. Let's see if they actually go for the play. Oh, they tried it, but unfortunately.
A little late. And now... Okay, but it looks like Makuto doesn't have...
Oh, no.
Oh.
Just being stuck in that one panel.
Yeah, Uvu took it. Oh, but they do get a... Oh, hang on. So Uvu has now finished the turn in full synchro. And Makuto does have this bees, but it looks like they're in the middle of the Tengu charge shot, so they won't be able to use these bees to block something right away. So if Uvu could just go for the Master Cross here or something, and it could be huge. Oh, and there it is.
Ooh, nice. Getting that ×2 and nothing to block it as well. A lot of damage.
Okay, but we do have this funny setup now with the two... Oh, wow. And the risky honeys. So this is actually still very close. So actually, this spout man here would be enough to put Uvu down to 1 HP. Obviously, the Muramasa as well.
This is going to be a very close game. There is also that white capsule, which if Makuto decides to attach it to anything, then they could use that to potentially finish off the game.
But going for Hop here.
Oh,
maybe because oh wow.
1, 2, oh yeah.
And yeah, so with that, we are into round 3. Thanks to that ×2 Master Cross.
Yeah, I mean, Master Cross on its own can potentially do quite a bit of damage, but if you get the ×2 with all of these hits, then obviously it's very massive.
Yeah, because that is the one big advantage Master Cross has over something like Sun Moon. It does have a much better range. It just needs there to not be like holes and for them to not be in the back. But it also, unlike Delta Ray, Master Cross is also like doesn't care about what row they're in. So it does actually have a pretty nice range in that regard. Oh wow, there's the immediate tank cannon. And then the immediate, I feel like all 3 of the, well, this confirms the double point Bs.
Oh, that's going to be a lot of damage. Actually, I was expecting it to be quite a bit more.
I think the double point only was able to take 2 rows. So it was only +40 instead of +60.
Oh yeah, that is true, yeah.
Oh wow, that fire hit on the Tomahawk Cross. So after that fire hit 3, oh wow, and there's the Aqua Needle, but without the white pill, so even with the freeze, only 2 hits, which I guess is actually still like. That, even just the 2 hits of that, I think, was like 320 damage.
And it did leave them frozen as well, so it could potentially be followed up with like an Erase Man for double damage or something, or Judge Man.
Yeah, it does leave them flashing, but Erase Man won't care about that. And of course, we'll also do a double damage on a freeze because he's also pseudo break.
Wasn't there another time we were meant to be using for pseudo break? I don't remember.
Yeah, I'm still just. I think people were saying like a guard pierce, but like guard pierce makes sense for piercing guards, but that also like. I mean, I'm old. I'm gonna use my old boomer terms.
So true. Same. I mean, I'm with you. I always forget the other name we're meant to be using for that stuff. Ooh, Master Cross. And actually,
it's gonna leave them frozen.
Not only that, funnily enough, using the charge shot to push that cube allowed the extra hits to land. Ooh.
Oh yeah, that's true, because the cube would have blocked like all the hits in front. And so yeah, now we see Uvu with a huge lead here, about 800 HP. But if there's anything that can close a 800 HP gap, M code is definitely up there.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, even just this 10, if they can land multiple hits on this machine gun, then that's like 100 per hit. Could be 400 damage for free, basically.
Yeah, and Uvu will, these cubes in the back column could also be a problem for Uvu to deal with.
Ooh, there it goes, yeah.
Oh.
And, ooh, barely out of the freezing range, but that's still going to do a lot of damage. Let's see if Uvu has more follow-up.
And I think only gets hit by 2 hits from the Tengu Gust, which is much better than getting hit by all 3.
Oh,
But Makuto,
yeah.
they do have this roll.
Yeah, so roll could potentially give them a bit of survival. Unfortunately, that plus 30 was just used on the machine gun. But even then, just the survival from this can be pretty big.
Yeah, it looks like they're also considering going with Life Aura here, which as long as Uvu doesn't switch to Tengu, which he doesn't.
Ooh, Judge Man, I don't think that's quite enough. I think that might leave with 1 HP. Oh, close, but not quite.
Yeah, the Judgment V1 books I think are like 20 damage each.
Ooh,
Oh wow, and yeah.
Slifer is pretty good value. So one thing usually you can do if you have a big turn to play is go into Tengu Cross to avoid potentially being walled by Lifer. But in this case, I mean, Uvu would have risked potentially being hit by ×2 Muramasa, which would bring back the game for Makuto. So it's definitely a difficult decision.
Yeah, and still not going for the roll here is pretty risky, because Uvu will likely this turn bring something to deal with that Life Aura. It looks like he's going for his own Life Aura.
Ooh! Oh, nice.
Oh wow! Oh no! Why that you're attacking the hive spawned an extra swarm. That was extra 100 damage Uvu took from not whiffing the erasement. Oh, this is so close.
Yeah, so you would have wanted to miss the erasement on purpose to avoid. And if Makuto had an invis or an anti-damage you wanted to destroy, then yeah, okay, taking the 100 could have been worth it. But they had nothing like that. So for Uvu, obviously the best play is to just miss it. Now, ooh, no beast over though.
Okay, but oh wow. Oh, this is so close, but I believe they have their roll here. The roll could finish it off.
No!
The Elect Pulse and the Mine?
Ooh.
Or I guess the... Wow, that was... Right, because they had no they were still at 1 HP, but wow, that was so close.
Yeah, they were at 1 HP, and the Elect Pulse 3 pierces through invis. So that means that they didn't have an anti-damage or any other way of blocking the Elect Pulse itself. So they just used that to finish off the game. That was very nice.
Yeah, I thought for sure that Makuto was actually about to win and finish it off with the roll, but yeah, Ufu just with that beast out, Elect Pulse 3 to finish it off.
Yeah, definitely. And it's funny because I completely forgot about the mine. If they stepped on the mine, that would have also pierced invis and potentially killed.
Actually, I guess not, because I think they had float shoes from the hub.
Oh, right. Okay, so yeah, as you're saying, float shoes does deny the mine. So yeah, but that was very well played from both sides. That was actually a very interesting game.
Yeah, that was an extremely close match, and definitely seeing Master Cross put in that work.
The ×2 Master Cross, that is very painful. All right, but unfortunately, that was our final match for the stream, which is going to conclude today's stream. But before we end today's stream, I've said today's stream so many times, going to give a quick shout out to the donations that we've received during today's stream. One second. Okay, so starts off soft during today. Why do I keep saying this? We did get an anonymous donation, so thank you for that. And then donation from RAB saying always love the stream, Mango Beast for the chat, and finally ending with $50 donation from 2in11. So thank you everyone for all of the generosity. And with that, I do want to give a quick shout out to Salad for organizing the tournament, making the stream layout, as well as Symes, who joined me today on commentary. Thank you for joining on this surprise stream. And
yeah, it was fun. Those were some great matches as usual. We got to see a lot of bees.
Yeah, definitely. And Shadow as well for selecting these matches for us a while back actually, and now we finally were able to use them during this stream. And before ending the stream, I do want to say that we are running 4 or 3 weeks remaining now from our break, and we will be starting the next new moon after that. And the next new moon cycle is going to be starting with Need for Link, which is going to be the Link Navi for Battle Network 6. That will involve playing with the different Navis from BN6 instead of just using Mega Man. So stay tuned, and as always for that tournament, the drawing is mandatory. That's one of the best parts about the format, in my opinion.
Yeah, the art is definitely the best part. I haven't decided if I'm going to join yet, and if I do, who I'm going to use. But yeah, everyone, you gotta make sure to get your art in, and like if you think you're not good at art, don't worry.
Yeah,
everyone in chat's probably better than me. So
yeah, I mean, literally anything you do is more than good enough. Don't worry about it. And some people have already done their art in anticipation, so you do have the time to prepare if you're really looking forward to it.
Yeah, the worst art you could do would be not doing art at all.
Exactly.
Or I guess, okay, I'm gonna announce this as a rule right now. Don't use AI generated art. You will be banned.
Yeah, the art has to have your soul put into it as well.
Yeah, your heart and soul.
Yeah. And speaking of future tournaments, we are planning something before the collection comes out. So we might have an extra special tournament just to happen before then. We still are planning things around it, so keep an eye out for any future potential announcements for that. But yeah, with that, that's the end of the stream. Thank you everyone for watching. Thank you to all of the players who submitted and played their matches. And hopefully we'll see you again soon. Goodbye.